Hey, what's up, guys? Koolaid here. Welcome to another episode of Killing Time with Koolaid. Today, we are going to be talking about all things Infiltrator, mostly going over the changes and the performance update, too. There was so many changes. I looked at the patch notes and I had planned on covering all the official changes. I had talked about what was on the public test server. I had done a video on the balance posts. Um, but then I looked at these patch notes. I was like, all right, there's no way I'm going to do an entire video on this. So I just decided I'll break it down and do it kind of one, step at a time. Today we're going to do the Infiltrator. I'm not going to do it for every class and all the changes, but I might do certain weapon reviews or certain weapon change videos based on what's in the patch notes. Definitely not going to cover everything. It would probably take me up until another actual update came out before I could actually get it all covered. But seeing as how I do the Infiltrator's Handbook and how Infiltrator is my main class, it's the main thing on my channel, I guess you could say. I figured I would cover all the Infiltrator changes a little bit more in depth. I'm going to talk about the patch notes today, give a little bit of an opinion, but I will be doing videos on a lot of this stuff, not all of it, but a lot of this stuff more in depth as I have time to review all the weapons and use the weapons post update. That's obviously going to take me some time to get a good feel, whether or not they're worth using again, and that's basically what the videos are going to be about, of course. So not only do I want to talk about that today, I do want to talk a little bit about a couple changes that happened over the last few months that maybe I was absent. I took that little bit of a break, and some things happened right around that time that I never had time to cover. Just a couple things, and I want to cover them real quick. But first off, let me remind everybody that there is going to be double experience this weekend, running from Friday through Saturday because of all the downtime for the patch. They Higby tweeted that out yesterday, so make sure you get on and take advantage of that. I'm looking forward to that, especially since it's Christmas. I have a lot of stuff to do this weekend, but at the same time, I'm trying to make it so I kind of have Saturday night and Sunday to just sit around and be a lazy bum. So I'm hoping to take advantage of that. As many certs as I always have laying around, I've been burning through them lately, so I'm looking to stockpile them back up. But anyways, let's get to it. We'll talk about the bolt action sniper rifle changes first. Some of this we knew was coming. They put on the test server a couple days before this update. Some of it we didn't. Basically they're gonna completely define the roles of the sniper rifles. Before, there really wasn't much of a difference between, say, a long shot and an LA-80. And that's just an example I'm using. There really wasn't much of a difference. Now there's going to be a little more of a difference, and well, that's what we're going to talk about. So the NC-14 bolt driver, the M77B, and the XM98 have all had their max damage reduced from 750 to 650. That's not really too big of a deal. It's still going to be a 2-hit kill body shot and 1-hit kill headshot. Minimum damage changed from 550 at 750 meters to 400 at 350 meters. I don't know exactly what that means at 300 meters where the render distance actually stops, because at 350 meters it doesn't matter. 750 meters didn't matter. Those distances were beyond where you could actually hit anybody anyway. So I'm not exactly sure if the bolt driver can actually get 2-hit kill body shots at 300 meters. That might require a little bit of testing. But of course, we know the one-shot headshot kill lasts until 250 meters with the bolt driver, M77B, and XM98. And then they've also had their long reload time shortened from 5 seconds to 4.6, and their short reload shortened from 3.5 to 3 seconds. So their reload has gotten better, just to make them usable over some of the long shot or just the longer range sniper rifles. I always want to say long shot because I play NC, but they want to make them actually have a reason to be used, is what I'm trying to say. So the SASR, the TSAR-42, and the Ghost have all had their reload time shortened from 4.5 long reload 4.5 to 4 seconds. Their short reload from 3.15 seconds to 2.8. Their max damage reduced from 750 to 700, and their minimum damage changed from 550 at 750 meters to 400 at 265 meters. One shot headshot until 200 meters, and the big one, they've had their sway removed when using low-powered optics. Now, a lot of the chatter on the forums so far has been that these guns have gotten the biggest improvement by removing the sway. I can see that since they are the only bolt action that have had their sway removed. And low powered optics, I don't know if that means 4x and lower. I haven't tested this out yet. This is one set of weapons that I do plan on doing a video on. I'm actually looking forward to checking this out. But I love all the reload time buffs on this. The one shot headshot until 200 meters. It's the shortest of all the bolt actions, but who cares? You're not going to be pulling off 200 plus meter headshots with these weapons, at least not consistently. I mean, with a 4x scope, it would be pretty damn hard and pretty pointless that you're even taking shots at that range. So this is one that I really need to test out. The sway is huge. You know, they remove the sway on, and we'll get to this on the scout rifles and the semi-auto snipers, but this is the one that removing the sway is going to be the biggest because it does have the one shot, headshot kill potential. Next, the LA80, the SR7, and V10 have had their long reload improved or shortened from 5 to 4.7, short reload shortened from 3.75 to 3.1, their max damage reduced from 750 to 650, and their minimum damage changed from 550 at 75 meters to 400 at 350 meters. Bolt time increased from 1.3 to 1.395 seconds, and that's the first one so far that we've had a bolt time increase, and that is just to, again, define them, differ them from the ones that we already mentioned, and then they have had their one-shot headshot potential extended out to 250 meters. Finally, we have the long shot, the RAMS 50, and the Parallax, and they've had their long reload shortened from 6 to 5.575 seconds. Short reload time shortened from 5 to 4.72 seconds. Max damage changed from 800 to 700. Minimum damage changed from 550 at 100 meters to 400 at 400 meters, and their one-shot headshot reaches out to 300 meters, making these, the Mac Daddies for the long distance sniping. I actually like these for shorter range sniping, not short range, but shorter. If you're using a suppressor as well, I'll talk about this more in a future video. Actually, I have something planned for this. But basically, that's it. Just a kind of a comparison. If you take the long range sniper rifles, they have a short range or a short reload of 4.72 seconds, and if you compare that to the short range, the low zoom, they have a short reload of 2.8 seconds. So there's definitely a more defining role between the sniper rifles. I really like this personally. This is going to make me actually say, hey, I'm doing medium range sniping. Maybe I want to pull out a LA80, SR7, or V10, or you guys know what I'm trying to say. And I really like the fact that they have more of a defined role. I think most of us like the fact that they can reach out and get the one-hit kills at longer ranges now. Maybe if you're, carrying the starter, the cheap bolt actions, you wish you could get some more range out of this. But, I mean, 250 meters is still a pretty damn long ways to snipe, in my opinion. So next, we're going to cover the semi-auto sniper rifles. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these. These are something that I do plan on doing videos on for sure, covering them more in depth, because they have been improved quite a bit. But we'll go over what's actually changed real fast. The Gauss SPR, the 99SV, and the VA39 Spectre have all had their long reload time improved from 3.6 to 3.33, short reload improved from 2.6 to 2.22, and have had their improved recoil angle improved so it will more consistently pull to the right. The Impetus, the KSR-35, and the Phantom have had their long reload improved from 3.6 to 3.33, their short reload improved from 2.6 to 2.22, and have had their sway removed when using low powered optics. That's the big kicker right there. The Shadow, this is listed under sniper rifles. I believe this is technically a scout rifle, if I remember correctly. It's been so long since I even used it or cared about this gun. But anyway, the Shadow, the HSR-1, and the Nyx have had their long reload improved from 2.9 to 2.76. Their short reload improved from 2 to 1.95. Wow, that's just a huge drop right there. They've had their minimum damage range increased from 65 to 75 meters, so they can reach out and touch people a little bit further. You know, I don't. Again, this is something that I'm probably going to cover. I actually have a somewhat kind of a funny video way to cover all the semi-auto snipers and all the scout rifles with one video, try to knock them all out. But again, I have to go out and actually play test them before I feel confident enough to give my opinion on them, even though I have a good idea already whether or not my opinion is going to change too much, but I still want to get out and play test them before I do in-depth videos, of course. And then we have the Stalker, the SOAS-20, and the Artemis, and these are the fully automatic scout rifles, of course. Their long reload hasn't been improved from 2.9 to 2.45. Their short reload improved from 2 to 1.865. So those are some pretty decent reload adjustments. They had, this one's big for me, they've had their hip accuracy improved by 0.5 in all states. And to some people, that might not matter. One thing that's always bothered me about the fully auto scouts is that their hip fire was so ridiculously bad. It made them so inferior in short range that I didn't like it, because I'm a big hip fire guy. It's part of the reason I love LMG or SMGs so much. But the fact that it was so bad on the scout rifles, really kind of soured me to them. So I like that change. But those are all the changes for the semi-auto snipers, and the scout rifles. I'm not going to cover them too much more, but we got some good stuff here. A lot of new toys for us to play around with, or at least a lot of changed toys for us to play around with. One thing that's not directly related to infiltrators that I think is a big buff for us is that maxes are now indicated differently on the minimap, which how many times have you been running around with your Recon dart out and you go to flank a group of guys and you round the corner and there's a max there just waiting to blast you? And I swear, I swear maxes see you every time, no matter if you're cloaked or what. But so I really like that change. I think that's going to help with infiltration purposes. It's going to help not just infiltrators as well, but that's where I run into that problem the most. So a couple other changes that have happened that were sort of we've had buffs and nerfs that I have not talked about. And these kind of reach a while back. The big one, the one that I really, really hate, is that you can now see enemy recon detect device blips on the mini-map. And this pretty much stops me from using my recon detect device pretty much at all when I am behind enemy lines infiltrating a base. It's just a dead giveaway that you're around. Now, if you've racked up a couple kills and you know people are going to be coming after you, then it's still fine to use. But if you're trying to sneak around down there and you're trying to figure out where the enemy is, it's not going to help. It's just going to give away your position. And this is what I consider a big nerf for behind the lines infiltrators. I really, really wish they hadn't put this in there. I don't think there was a need for it. I don't like it. That's all I can say. It doesn't change things if you are working with a group, if you're more of a frontline support type infiltrator, or if you're hanging back a little bit. It's still a really good tool. It's just kind of kills its usefulness in behind the lines infiltration, and that's what I really love to do as an infiltrator. Now, they did buff the recon detect device in a way as well. You can now see the enemy blips on the map from further away, which is good, but to me, it's not doesn't even come close to balancing out the fact that the enemy can see it. Of course, you can see the enemies as well, which is helpful. I'm not gonna deny that, but you guys know it sucks for behind the line infiltrators. Another, I wouldn't call this a nerf, but another thing that I was pretty annoyed about was with the performance update, they did remove some more terminals. If anything, I would have liked more terminals added. Again, this is just kind of a slight. Uh, it's hard to call this a nerf, but it is kind of a slight nerf to behind the lines infiltrators. One of my favorite things to do as a, you know, is sneak in, hack an enemy terminal, and then be able to resupply myself or be able to switch loadouts depending on what I am faced with behind enemy lines. If somebody spawns a max because they're getting sick of me, I can go to that terminal, grab some C4 or a heavy assault launcher, and actually deal with that problem. But by removing a lot of the terminals, and as far as I read it, it was strictly for performance enhancement purposes, which I can't believe a couple terminals, infantry terminals or whatever, would actually do that much of a difference. But I guess so. And I really wish they would add a lot more of these in, to be honest with you. Give us infiltrators a little more of a purpose when we're behind enemy lines. Give us some more stuff to hack. But what can you do? It kind of sucks, but it happened. It's not a huge nerf or anything like that. It's hard to even call a nerf, but it does suck, like I said. Alright, so this video is getting pretty damn long, and I apologize for that. Just so much new stuff to cover. I couldn't even imagine if I did an entire patch notes video. But one last thing before I go. New episode of Duality should be out tomorrow on STL Youngblood's channel. We started doing it, me and STL, and then Kamikaze stumbled into Mumble, so we bring him in about halfway through it, and we're basically covering the new nano we've changed, and what our opinion is for each class, what we're going to be using for our suit slot for each class, and I think it's some pretty good discussion there. So guys, check that out, STL Youngblood's channel. Again, I'll leave the link in the description. But that's pretty much it. Remember, it is double experience weekend. Make sure you guys get on and play the hell out of Planetside 2 this weekend. Fill up my server so I can have a lot of fun either killing you or getting killed by you. I'm going to try to make as much time for PS2 as I can. So that's all I got. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.